LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past came out last Friday. I got to join a roundtable interview with two of the stars of the show, Gaten Matarazzo and Tony Revolori, who play Sig and Dev Griebling. We all nerd out about the LEGO Star Wars video games, making Lucasfilm sweat with some of their suggestions and line readings, and discuss how Cal Kestis opened the door for Sig to have an orange lightsaber. It was a lot of fun, so I hope you enjoy the full interview.
Brandon is here. Hi, I'm Brandon from Talkie Bay 94. How are
Hi,
y'all?
Logan. I'm
Brandon.
well. How are you?
Good. I'm just curious in terms of like inspiration you're bringing to these characters, and you've had now a few years to develop them.
Mm.
Did you pull from any, whether Star Wars characters or storylines specifically, to kind of inform
Oh,
them, or what was your process to kind of build Sig and Dev?
ooh, that's really fun. I think what's easier on my part, I think Tony probably had a more challenging process here, but with Sig, it's just a dorky Star Wars fan, which is exactly what I've been since I was 6 years old. And I was like, great, so I can just jump in with sweats on and just go for it. And they're like, yeah, basically do whatever you want. And half of the dialogue is just me actually reacting to them actually being able to do what they did in the show. Like Lucasfilm, like on the Zoom during the recording, being like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, go for it. And yeah, it was so delightful seeing them stressed out. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
It was an interesting thing. I think I have like an encyclopedic knowledge of movies because I love so much. So I think there's a little bit of everything that subconsciously gets put into place. But I do remember the first time we ever recorded, I had good Dev and I had, Darth Dev. And I
Mhm.
remember we stopped after recording all of, which I don't know, might have taken me like 2 hours to record all of good Dev because he's, not
Scarce.
it. Right, exactly. And then they were like, all right, go home. And then when you come back tomorrow, we'll do the rest of, Darth Dev and you can come in and I think I had like ideas and I played with, but it really was a collaboration with Dan and Benji and Chris in figuring out, um, where it goes. And I think throughout the sessions more and more, I was like, I know who this guy is. And, and then they pieced it together like a Frankenstein monster that is the character you guys are listening to today.
Hi, I'm Tanya on behalf of Kerwin and Keith from Father Son Galaxy. Lego Star Wars always does a really great job of embedding within the story a kind of moral, a great lesson.
Mm.
What lesson is it do you want viewers to take from the series?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well,
Um, I think like from the get-go, so much of this story has to do with the importance of fighting for family, and I think that that's very clear, not just with Dev and Sig, who are, of course, actually brothers, but also the family that's developed over the course of the show with Jedi Bob and Yessie, and that clearly becomes a family in its own, and certainly just equally as important to fight for as it is with blood relatives. And I think that that's really fun to see. There's a tug of war there that's really fun to explore with Sig
Yeah.
of what his priority is going to be, or the people that have his back, or the person that's actively trying to kill him. There's who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows what he'll do? But that's always what I've taken away from it.
Yeah. I'll just echo that a little bit more and seeing um Jedi Bob betraying kind of or having something to do with his a former teacher Solitus and what happens there. And it's like he gave up on fixing and stuff like that is
Mm,
and fighting for his family. So just never give up. I think that would be the lesson.
mm,
Hi, I'm Brad from Friends of the Force. So here on our podcast, we're huge fans of Lego Star Wars in general. It's a core staple of our childhood. And this
same.
is often a great, right into my question. We often find this to be a very common ground with a lot of other Star Wars fans. So I'd love to know for each of you, do you have any favorite memories of Lego Star Wars, whether it
Oh,
be like any sets or specials or video games that you played growing up?
I played Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga when it became one game for the Wii religiously. That I think it's probably I think it's the best Lego game of all time. I think it's a classic. It's so good. It still plays so well. I remember specifically I had played so many times and completed every level so many times that I started giving myself new challenges. and it was just to collect every coin in every level was my challenge because I wanted to save up to get Ghost Yoda, who is the most expensive of the purchasable free play characters. And I never did, but I don't think I ever I think I outgrew the game. It took so long that eventually I outgrew that process. I was like, I have homework. I'm a teenager. I can't do this anymore. And I think I got Ghost Anakin though, so I was proud of that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my memory.
I remember playing the games. I think it was 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And
Because 1, 2, 3 was first, I think, for the Lego games.
yes,
I
it
think the
was.
prequels were the first for the games.
And then I played 4, 5, 6, and that was my introduction. I played those games before I watched the
It's so
original
good.
movie.
Oh, no
Um,
way. You
I
played
know.
That's awesome. No, that's great. That's such a fun intro.
It's so I remember watching the movies and going, I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, in pop
Of course.
culture, everyone knows. Spoiler alert:
Yeah.
Darth Vader is Anakin, and
Do you remember the friggin'
dad.
picture he holds up of like pregnant Padme to tell Luke that it, like
Yes, yeah,
they can't use
yeah.
dialogue? It's the funniest thing in the world. It's amazing.
So that's why I don't think I was that surprised when I watched the original movie.
It's so good.
Hi, I'm Arzu. I'm with the Geeky Waffle. You talked earlier about sort of your inspiration going into these characters and what you pulled from, but I'm curious, having had time between the first batch of episodes and then this batch of episodes, did you find that like sitting with these characters changed the way you saw them, changed the way you played them? And
Uh
how was that?
that was interesting. What was really actually pretty nice going in was that we had confirmed the second season and started working on it and recording it well before the first season was even announced, I think. I think that Disney Plus or Lucasfilm specifically just really loved what we got initially before the release and just knew that it was going to be, at least for them, a success in itself to even have it there, even if it didn't do well ratings wise. So we started working on it pretty quickly. So it was kind of a seamless transition. And for me, the memory that feels like one long movie
Yeah.
rather than a two-part series. So, and I think that it shows in the show. I think once the second one's out, I really recommend watching it if one wants to in one sitting as a really long movie because it reads as one to me.
Yeah, it kind of to me it felt a little bit like there was a breath where I could go into the booth and just play a little bit more and push a little bit more just because we had gotten our first season mostly out, and I'd seen most of the episodes as we started doing season 2 before season 1 had even come out.
Mm.
Which lend me a lot of confidence in being able to go in and push, Dev a little bit further, and I think it gave the creators a lot, Dan and Benji and Chris, a lot more leeway to just go, let's go even further. Let's like make the jokes funnier and call this out and this and that and blah blah blah, which was really fun.
James from Jedi News here. Thank you both so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks, James.
Lego Star Wars animation has become synonymous with Star Wars over the years, and the characters we've got from the Freemaker Adventures and Jack 14, and now we've got Sig and Dev, and they're with us forevermore. So, how does that feel to be part of Star Wars lore?
It's a lifetime dream, right? I think just it was an absolute dream growing up to be a part of this franchise, and it's the reason that I love cinema so much. And most of the I would attribute so much of what I do now for a living and what I do just on a day to day to that franchise, and to be a part of it in any capacity, let alone a show I love so much, is a real honor.
I'm just super grateful. I feel like as I've, grown up and getting older, there's still a part of my childhood that is like that'll never be fulfilled. And there's like a part of me that does these things for them a little bit, or for not them, they're not multiple people, but for him. And I got to be a part of Marvel and Star Wars now and Willow, which was a series dear to my heart, watching the original movie as a kid. So it's like I feel like I'm collecting these little things for
You got
the
a franchise lineup. You've
I,
got like pieces of some
listen,
some heavy hitters there.
I've been lucky enough, what can I say? I get into the right rooms and I say, please, please,
Please,
please,
please give me a job.
please give me a job. And Star Wars is such a beautiful just beautiful, like story that being anything a part of it is great, and let alone, doing it with these incredible people from the creator side to everyone else, including Gayton, who is just a bundle of joy.
Yeah, thank you.
It's nice of you.
Of course, and sex appeal, and
Yeah,
and sex appeal, of
pure,
course.
yeah, pure machismo, and
Hi, this is Alex from Star Wars Explained.
Okay.
Um,
hi, Alex.
Hi. Every Star Wars story is going to inevitably be someone's first Star Wars story. I'm sure Rebuild the Galaxy, it will be no different. How do you
Ooh.
hope a very wild and fun and frantic story like this will help shepherd and shape new fans into the franchise?
I think it's essential. I think having shows like this, it's pretty reminiscent of what the prequels did. I think what the prequels did was it was usher in a new era of people that were inevitably going to become obsessed with this franchise. And they've successfully been able to do that over the course of the many decades that it's been out since, what was it, 77? It first released. And I think it's shows like this that keep younger viewers engaged. I mean, animated shows usually have the ability to do that very well. And I think something is fun and uh, lighthearted and really good for younger viewers, I think is essential to getting them to love the show. But also, I don't think it babies it doesn't hold anybody's hand in regards to what they're jumping into. It's kind of a show like by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans, and so I think that that's why it's such a good. When it comes to maybe new parents who are looking to try to find a good way of getting their kids to be Star Wars fans without like shoving it down their throats and be like, watch this old relic of a movie for you at 10 years old. Because I can imagine, because sometimes kids have lack of patience when going into something like that. So I think it maybe it's a good middle ground.
Absolutely. And equally, I think it's just as fun for the adults,
Yeah.
who are fans of the show. And I would say, like, if I could tell people what to do, I would hope that they go watch everything. And even if they watch our show first,
It'd be
go
so
watch everything else and
confusing.
then come back. Like, I think there'll be some jokes that may hit you a little bit funnier when you see it. But there's beautiful homage in every single episode that I think whether you see this first or that first, it'll hit you in a certain way, which will be nice.
Hey guys, Art Eddie here from Art of Fatherhood. Gayton, Tony, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank
And
you.
if anybody wonders if Lucasfilm does like how they do on casting, you guys talking about the games and like getting all the coins, Gayton, I felt that answer my bone was trying to get all the coins. My daughter's like, "Why are you worried about getting all the coins?" I'm like, "I have to. It's an
It's
obsession."
important. I have to. Like, there's some like if you see when you see it blinking about to disappear and the panic that goes through your soul because you have to start over if it goes. Oh gosh, nothing filled me more than when it says "True Jedi" right when it goes like boom and it fills up. The coin slot fills up. Yes, sir. Oh, it's joy.
That's awesome. But I gotta say, obviously you guys have a great new ship. Obviously,
It's so sick.
First burner.
love it. When I talk to, voice actors and stuff, and they get like, a picture of what they're going to be like or what they're going to look like or worlds and all that stuff. Obviously, you guys were in the first one and you guys were the main characters, but seeing what was developed for the sequel, what do you guys think about, like, obviously your speeder, but then also to all the different worlds and all that? What was your kind of thoughts for this one as you knew, like, all right, this is our characters, this is what we feel. Now going into the second one, I know you said that you were kind of recording them back to back, but seeing the new worlds and seeing all the different things, how did you kind of explore your characters based on the worlds you were going to be in?
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of trusted Dan and Benji, and like, I would walk in and we would then have 30 minutes of just conversations of Star Wars lore and this and that and jokes that they would put in. Um, and I think they were equally as surprised at how nerdy or how much I knew of the material. They're like, "Well, you see, that joke is because," I'm like, "No, no, no, I understand the joke. I'm laughing inside." But now, like, I got to put on the serious hat and try to make it believable that this character is gonna say it that way. Um, so I think there was a little bit more conversations that could be had because we had a foundation now in
Yeah.
figuring out could he say it this way? Could he say it some other way? And I think that was the difference between 1 and 2 for me, was allowing myself to push a little bit more, have a little bit more confidence, but then also, ask for a different thing, and they would be like, yes, no. Well, we can't do that because Lucasfilm won't let you. And I go,
We ran into that a few times.
yeah. I go, well, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't realize you requested an orange lightsaber.
did. I
I
just
didn't
wanted
realize
it.
I could do that.
I didn't think I could either, and then they let me. I think it's sick. I don't know. I just felt like when it came to that, I was like, he's not a traditional Jedi. He uses the Force in a very different way than other Jedis do, and he's learning in a very unorthodox sense. And also, it just, guys, it just looks cool. It just looks cool, and let me do it. And then they were like, I don't know. And I was like, they just did it in Jedi Survivor. They just did it in Jedi Survivor. Please let me do it. Cal Kestis has one. Please let me do it. And they're like, fine. Like, I just seeing, like I said before, the Lucasfilm rep on Zoom when we're filming, like, just like sweating at the requests that we had was what brought me so much joy. I think with this one, we kind of got the green light to kind of go. Just there's no point in not asking for new fun things and new worlds to be built and things like the Force Burner and things like going to new dimensions and like when you have like Jackson the mythical space bunny, which was a pull so deep I had never even heard of it, and I felt bad as a Star Wars nut having been like, I'm like, what are you talking about, a pink space rabbit? And they're like, no, this is real, this actually happened. I was like, okay, great, we're in. I don't think that could have happened in the first season, and I honestly think that, like, if there was any reservation from Lucasfilm going into the second one, seeing how well it worked in the first, after seeing it come together, kind of gave them more of like a breath of fresh relief and be like, yeah, kind of do whatever you want. And I think it pays off.
Cool. Thank you very much, Gaten. If you ever meet Kevin Scott, don't let him know that you didn't know who Jackson was. That's all.
I feel terrible that I didn't, and I'm so honored now that I do.
But I know Ben Schwartz is.
Speak with him at a show. Like, I feel good now.
I would love to. Art, thank you for the visual explanation, because you guys are minifigures now. And Gaten, I know that there was a Stranger Things one, and I don't think Flash ever got one in any Spider-Man things.
That's messed up.
I don't even want to ask, like, how does it feel? But like, this is a big deal. This is like an Oscar. This is it, man. Right? What is it like to be part of something that is like this? Star Wars is always, toyetic and is full of these things, but you being now a part of it in a very physical way, what does that lend to the characters and kind of the legacy that you've built with this?
I think again, it just comes back to the inner kid in me. Um, like I wish I could have like played with a toy that, was either looked like me or that I could have done. I was always like, oh man, I don't know, play with a Spider-Man toy and wish I could play Spider-Man, or a Darth Vader toy and be like, damn, I wish I had like we all picked up a stick and said it was a lightsaber and did the noises. So it's like now I have a character that I can do that with, and it's awesome.
It's really fun. I think that kids, when they latch on to a franchise or kind of create this hyper fixation onto something they love dearly, that becomes most of their personality over the course of a good chunk of their childhood. I think a lot of kids have had that before, but I think the reason that happens is because so many kids want to see something through the lens of, if they really do like put themselves in the shoes of the people in it, and that's why they play pretend, and that's why they have so much fun. They buy the games, they buy the toys, because they want to be as close to doing what they see on screen as possible. And being able to see something that I would have been so excited about as a 6 or 7 year old, it really does fill my heart like crazy. It means a lot more than I think that Lego knows. They're like, yeah, whatever. And it happened twice, which is crazy. I have two different people I've played be minifigures, which is kind of nuts and really, really fun. And sometimes people give them to me, so I have more than I need of them, and so that teeters on being creepy, of just like dolls of me in like boxes in my room. But hey, we've all got weird things. We've all got skeletons in the closet, and in my closet, it's just minifigures of me.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it.
I hope you enjoyed that chat. Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past premieres on Friday, September 19th. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.